My name is Chris Sikkema, and I work on the church-wide staff of the Episcopal Church. I got to talking with some colleagues about Bishop Curry's way of love, those 7 practices: turn, learn, pray, worship, bless, go, rest, and decided we'd go out and find the church in action, already doing these things in varied ways. We decided we wanted to start the new show at the Bishop Walker School in Washington, D.C. We'd been told by folks from the region that we'd really get to see blessing in action, what Jesus meant when he called us to give, forgive, teach, and heal in his name. I sat down with James Woody, the executive director and president of the school, over a lunch of square pizza and orange slices. James has been here since the beginning, even before the school officially opened in 2008 with a class of 13 4-year-olds. James, thank you so much for having us over at the Bishop Walker School and
my pleasure.
Letting us in on this fantastic school lunch. I hope I didn't take it from someone.
Oh, no, there's plenty.
Yeah, good. So this school, I think, is one of the most extraordinary ministries that I have seen. Can you kind of tell us, like, how did it start? Where'd you get the idea?
Bishop Walker was the first African-American bishop of the Episcopal Diocese of Washington. And Bishop Walker, in addition to being a priest, was also a very dedicated and committed educator. So he understood that education was the great equalizer. And so when he passed away in 1989, I think from that point forward, the diocese and people around the diocese had a desire to do something to honor his legacy and to also benefit the children of this community.
Awesome. Can you tell me something about this community? We're in Washington, D.C.
We are in Southeast Washington, also known as Ward 8, and it's traditionally one of the most underserved areas of the city. It's been plagued for many years by a number of challenges. One of the things that we were committed to doing was starting a school here in this community because we felt that this is where the greatest need was.
You'll learn while you're here. But what we like to do with the boys, some of their lessons are in the hallway. We use the whole school as a classroom.
Principal Stephanie Follerin is, like me, blown away by the school. A place where young folks can grow into the people that God intends them to be, where students are learning from extraordinary staff and faculty because thousands of faithful people work together to make it possible. She's a consummate educator, just like I remember from growing up, equal parts caring and understanding and holding high expectations for achievement and behavior. She knows every student by name, which is more amazing because while she has years of experience in independent schools, this is only her 2nd month at Bishop Walker. So Bishop Walker had a great phrase that you guys have kind of taken to heart here.
Education is the door to opportunity.
Yeah, what does that mean for y'all here?
It's the path through which people can gain all kinds of success in life. And one of the things that we try to do is to make sure that our students and faculty and parents all come together around that concept, that education as the great equalizer.
Great. One of the things that also is unique about this place, the funding structure is a little bit different.
Most independent schools, I would say, probably get 85 to 90% of their revenue from tuition payments. We, however, don't charge tuition, and so we have kind of thrown that model upside down.
I want to get this straight.
Yes.
No tuition.
No tuition, that's right.
Okay.
For the most part, our students come here at no cost to them or their families, which is mind-boggling on many levels.
It really is. Yeah. And you get a lot for that.
That includes a full day that starts at 7:30 in the morning with before care, and it concludes at 6 p.m. We have an after-school program.
And on top of that, 3 square meals a day.
3 square meals a day, so we serve breakfast, lunch, and during the after-school program we have what's called our supper meal. It's very difficult for boys to learn, or any of us to learn, frankly, if we're hungry, and
Absolutely.
so we make sure that we try to remove as many of those obstacles as possible to their success.
I want to do a taste test of the Bishop Walker School cafeteria food.
Okay.
And then I want to get your read on it as well.
Okay. Be honest.
I absolutely will. Viewers will note that I have a square pizza here.
Square because we don't believe in cutting corners at Bishop Walker.
That's beautiful.
How's that for wit?
I love it. I love it. As a former pretend New Yorker, I'm not entirely sure how to eat the pizza except to fold it, so I'm going all in. Extraordinary.
Okay. Boys can be pretty finicky, and so it's important for us to put food in front of them that they will actually eat. And so pizza, I'm sure it has a whole wheat crust, and we try to use as many locally sourced, organic ingredients as possible, because that's teaching something as well.
Help us to be unselfish in friendship, thoughtful of those less happy than ourselves, and eager to bear the burdens of others. Through Jesus
As an Episcopal school supported by the generosity of Washington Episcopalians and so many others, there's a real Christian component to life here. During chapel time, the library is converted to a sacred space, where the older boys lead the younger boys in a short service. We say the school prayer, we sing This Little Light of Mine, and we talk about how all people are created in God's image, and that sometimes people might only know God through his reflection in us. What is it that makes it exactly Episcopalian?
I think one of the hallmarks of any Episcopal school is an openness to others. In our mission statement, we describe ourselves as a Christian community of learners, but we're also very attuned to the fact that the world is a broad world, and so many of our students come from different faith traditions or from no particular faith tradition, and so we embrace students regardless of their background or tradition because we want to make sure that they become enmeshed in what we are, recognizing that they bring certain skills and gifts and assets that we want to include in our community.
That sounds like belonging is a big piece of what this school offers.
Belonging and being known. We are a small school. We have right now about 85 students, and that means that every student is known by every adult and every other student. It's important for our boys to know that they're valued for who they are, for their individuality, for their unique voice. One of the things that is, I think, a hallmark of a Bishop Walker School student is his ability to express himself. We try not to stifle our boys' ideas, but rather to encourage them to develop their voice and to share it freely and confidently.
You offer specials.
Art, music, even some science. Right here we have a garden program. Our students learn to plant. They do planting identification, so they'll walk through the park. They'll go everywhere.
Hands-on.
Hands-on. Everything is hands-on. So this is a special as well. Go on in.
Should we go?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Hey guys. What's everyone learning about today?
See?
Flowers. Can you name a flower? Daisies. That's a good one. A Power Ranger one? What does that do? That sounds like a new one, but I like the idea. As a concept, I'm excited to see all the amazing work you guys do. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Do you remember thank you in sign language?
Oh, how do I say you're welcome? Oh no.
Mr. Scott is also our director of admissions, so he knows the boys probably better than anyone. I love his music class because it's always filled with movement.
Why is art so important for these kids?
Oftentimes, boys don't have enough opportunity to really find their creative center. So what we're trying to do in the art program is not only give them activities like this, where they're tapping into what emotions look like, but also physical activities. So they won't just have art in the art classroom. They'll take things outside, they'll make sculptures that will decorate the entire building. Little pieces of their art will be put to the side for a huge art display at the end of the year, right? So they'll walk through their first gallery and it'll be their work.
What about art class? Do you like art class?
Of course.
Of course. Tell me what you like about art class.
I like drawing because you get to express yourself a little bit. I made like a whole comic. I went home, I took a picture of it, I edited it on my tablet, and then I went back to paper and I edited it. Wait, am I saying that right?
I think so. So my grandmother, a lot of people don't know this, was a lunch lady in her later years, and she was extraordinary in so many ways, but it so broadened her horizon to be in a school. And it was also in somewhat of a traditionally underserved area. Where we were in Minnesota, it's obviously freezing cold in the winter and you just cannot do without a coat. It doesn't work. And we found out that several of these students didn't have coats that fit. It became her ministry to go out and find coats. Is there an opportunity like that for us in the wider church to help fund, help support this extraordinary mission and ministry?
There is no shortage of opportunities, whether it's marketing assistance or public relations or fundraising assistance. We value that. In addition to our library being run by volunteers, most of the books were given to us brand new, because once we put the word out that we have a need for something specific, people tend to respond. What we do, we can't do without the generosity and support of others.
The way of love is a rule of life, a set of practices meant to center our lives on Jesus and his call to each one of us. We turn, learn, pray, worship, bless, go, and rest. I saw all of these practices at Bishop Walker School, but one stood out in particular: the call to bless. Can you tell me some of the ways that the school and the wider church in Washington can be a blessing to these students?
We think that the entire foundation upon which the Bishop Walker School is built is that of sharing blessings. One of the things that we want to make sure that they understand is just because there may be some limitations in the community in which they live doesn't mean that their lives can't be full and rich. And so we make sure to try and expose our students to as much of the larger community and wider world as possible. And one of the things that we talk a lot about is the idea of serving others, and I guess that's the sharing of the blessing portion of what they do. Regardless of what circumstances or situation our students find themselves in, we think it's critically important that they share that which they have with others, and so we try to model that here.
Can you tell me some of the ways you imagine these kids will go out to bless their community?
Oh my goodness, in so many ways. Just modeling behavior. How do you walk? How do you carry yourself? How do you speak to someone else, right? As they grow and become leaders in the community, we keep trying to tell them, even if you're 5, you can be a leader. What does that look like in your home? What does that look like on the street? That's their blessing. And showing what it looks like and feels like to express yourself fully.
What are the 6 pillars?
Trustworthiness, caring, responsibility, respect, citizenship, and fairness.
Do you have to show those attitudes in school?
Everywhere, like
Everywhere.
if you're on the basketball court or if you're with your friends.
That's right. So it's kind of like you practice those pillars, and that way you become a better person over time, right?
Yeah.
We have such an opportunity here at this school to change generations. So we want to meet them where they are and help them grow and foster learning in their classrooms, and here foster learning in their home, just kind of grow the whole community.
What a gift.
Yeah, absolutely, it's a blessing.
Hi, people. Here are my dance moves.
Jesus says in Matthew, "Freely you have received, freely give." Every moment at Bishop Walker School was a testament to that call we all have as followers of Jesus. From students to faculty, staff, administration, donors, and more, the good people of this school and diocese have taken stock of their gifts and blessings, and in turn, they bless others. They share the faith we all have in God by giving and serving unselfishly, holding to that joy and wonder at the good world we've been given.